dip out on me, which was great. We did not get to finish all the math workshops from last week, so you picked up the new ones from this week, but heck, we're still working on last week's stuff. We got to finish last week before we worry about this week. I looked through your tests. They look okay. No, I don't have them graded. I hope to have them graded as soon as possible. If you did not take the test, I haven't entered in the 0 yet, but you know it's coming. 2 who missed it have already set up dates to make it up. You need to be that ambitious and that on it. Okay, let's see. We're only going to do 10, 11, and 12. We'll save the last bottom 2 for tomorrow because, my God, you've got to have some time to do some math on your own today. Anyone wants to volunteer and help their group get some points on number 10? Yes, Madeline?
You would get 402.
You do 400 times 2.
And then you would get 20 root 2.
20 root 2, and your group gets a point. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Any volunteers for number 11? Yes, ma'am.
7 root 2.
7 root 2, she says. Let's think that through. That would mean 49 times 2. 49 times 2 is 98, so she is correct. Your group gets a point. Last one's the easiest. Should see lots of hands. Yes, table 1. Yes, it is 4 square roots of 2 because 16 times 2 is 32. The square root of 16 is 4. That's perfect. Your group can have a point. Okay, before we move on, flip over to the back of your math workshop. We're just going to write some answers down. No, this is not a grade. This is just an intro to get us introduced to what on earth we're about to be doing. So, the issue with the next chapter is with wording. Because different words mean different things. If we say everyone, that's different than saying someone, which is different than saying a few people. So the wording in this next chapter is going to be all the difference. So I need you to write down if the following statements are true or false. I need you to pick down true or false. And we'll go over the answers in just a second. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things we're going to talk about. And then Deidre's lazy, so she doesn't actually have to spell out true or false. What could she put instead? She can just put T or F. However, Deidre has nice handwriting, so I can tell her T from her F. If you're that person and I can't tell your T from your F, maybe you need to spell out true and false. You have to pick one or the other. There is no middle room. Okay, so the first statement I'm going to make, I need you to decide if it's true or false. One of us is a boy. One of us is a boy. Is that true or false? Write it down on your paper. Which one you think? Which one is it? Pick one. Okay, that's the first one. The second statement, all of us are girls. Is that true or false? The third statement, it's a little tricky. We are about the same height. True or false? The fourth statement, at least one of us is 5 feet tall. Is that true or false? 5 feet tall. And the last statement, at least one of us is not wearing jeans. Is that true or false? Okay, so let's go over these because they're rather obvious, but maybe not, so they're worth talking about. One of us is a boy. Is that true or false? True. And you know it helps in life to have an example. So you could always say, example, Tyler. Like you could give an example of who? All of us are girls. Are we all girls? No. So that's false. And then you could say, Tyler is a boy. Or whoever is a boy. Or you could count and say there are 10 boys in the room or whatever. The third statement says we are about the same height. Are we about the same height? No. I think that's false, but it depends on who we're talking about. If I call Kaylee to the front and I say that sentence specifically about just me and Kaylee, maybe it's true. But if I make this blanket statement about me versus everyone else in the room, there are people shorter and there are people way taller. So that is a false statement. So false, Miss Compton is short. That's a good example. Okay, statement 4, at least one of us is 5 foot tall. That's true. I heard someone say they were over 6 feet. Who is it? Was it you, Jared?
Yeah.
Jared is taller than 5 foot.
Doesn't mean exactly.
Yes. It doesn't, and it said at least one of us, so we could be over 5 foot. So anyone over 5 foot proves that wrong. Okay, and the last one is really easy as well. At least one of us is not wearing jeans. That is true or false? I heard false. That's true. And I heard Kaylee reference herself, so I'm going to reference her too. Kaylee is wearing leggings. Or, Hunter is wearing shorts. So we could say anything, just give an example of someone who is not wearing jeans. Someone who is not wearing jeans. Okay, so the phrasing was weird. If I said all of us are wearing jeans, that's false. If I say at least one of us is wearing jeans, well, that's true. If I say at least one of us is not wearing jeans, that also ended up being true. So just the phrasing with the who, how many we pick, like the who, how many, some, all, one, that changes things. That changes the meaning. And also throwing in the word not changes the meaning. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you'll open your textbook to, I have Craig's. You open your textbook to page 8. Okay, so this is probably the one of the cutest activities we'll do all year. I'll say that. I can phrase it that way. It's not necessarily easy. So we're going to be very precise about what a statement means in this section. Each statement has the property that is definitely true or it is definitely false. There is no in between. We're either true or we're false. A statement may change from true to false depending on the group of objects we are considering. For example, the statement, everyone is at least 16 years old, is likely to be true if we just consider a senior high school class, but it's false if we're considering the entire high school. So everyone in here is 16 years old. If we said that phrase, that's true. If we're talking about everyone in the student body, that's not true. We got some freshmen. They're not 16. Okay, so look how cute. We got this little smiley face, and he's either got on, he can either be, oh my gosh, he's naked. He's just a smiley face. He can have on a top hat, he can have on glasses, or he can have on a top hat and glasses. So, yes, genuinely, we're going to be drawing smiley faces today and then clothing them in certain ways. So let's go to the first problem. It says, so back to the smiley face image, for which image in figure 2.1, for which of the images in figure 2.1 is P true? So we've got to look back to the two statements. So there are two statements. One is P, I'm wearing a top hat. One is Q, I'm wearing glasses. So the statement P is about wearing a top hat. So the first question says, for which of the images is P true? What does that mean about the image? What do we have to have on? They have to wear a top hat because the P statement says I'm wearing a top hat, so the image has to have on a top hat. Which images have on the top hat? B and D. So number one, the answer is seriously B and D. And most of them from there are pretty simple. My suggestion to you is to draw a picture. So yes, they gave you the 4 possibilities at the front, but maybe Tyler wants to think it through himself. So maybe he'll draw his own person and say, okay, they could have on a hat, just a hat, or they could have on a hat and glasses. And heck, I don't care if Tyler wants to draw it out like this rather than put the letters B and D. I think, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I think this is cuter than writing B and D. So I don't care which person, I don't care what he does today. As long as he's signifying it in some way, I don't care. We agree this is pretty easy. There are only 14 of them in this section. I would love for you to finish all 14 today. Our goal is to finish the entire 2.1.1. If your group pulls off the miracle and finishes 2.1.1, I'm not going to hinder you from starting 2.1.2 because it's along the same lines. Still a guy with a top hat changing his outfit. Okay, does anyone have any questions?